Okay, just give me a minute. Getting set up. Hi, Naz. We are back. Oh God. Sorry, it's a little chilly here today. It's raining. So I'm gonna be tucked up in my hoodie. This is yogurt and blueberries and a little bit of syrup because the yogurt was unsweetened. It's vegan, it's cashew yogurt. And then I have a juice that is like beets and oranges. Yeah, I try to eat plant-based. But yeah, I don't eat any meat or cheese or anything. So vegan. It's good for your body. I have been for like how many years has it been now? I want to say like 7 or 8 years. It's been a while. Okay. Oh, it's awesome. I've been vegan for 7, 8 years. Oh, okay, same amount of time. What made you change over? Let's move that over a little bit. Okay. Need some. That's odd. Oh, it's because it's not at 50%. There we go. Health, animals, environment. Um, that's really awesome. I have to say that's not why I first went vegan, but it is now a benefit to everything. Now that I've learned all that. Uh, the reason why I went vegan in the first place was because of my mom. She got diagnosed with pre-diabetes, and then she did her research and found that this kind of diet could help. And so we all kind of did it with her in solidarity as a family. And I just stuck to it ever since because we found out how good it was. Mostly health at first as well, though. Yeah, the biggest thing for me, the reason that I like switched or really wanted to is the big thing I noticed was that I wasn't getting sleepy after all my meals, which always used to piss me off. Like you try to work and then you just got done eating like a burger or something and you're like, I can't keep my eyes open. It's so frustrating. So that is really cool, or that was really cool, and that's what definitely made me want to make the switch permanently. Hmm. I wonder if there's a different way I should be doing this now. Oops. Hey, Pauline. Hey, gamers. I wish I want to play a game. Did you see how stacked this week was? We had Persona 3 Reload, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Um, if it ends up being any fun at all, the Suicide Squad game. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This whole month is stacked, really. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out later this month. Um, what else we got? Helldivers 2 looks really fun. 4! Hey, what's up, fellow legs? I'm sorry, I'm realizing I'm drawing tiny. If you look for, I did draw legs very big the other day. I'll get back to bigger. I think I just started small. Sorry if it's hard to see, guys. I will draw bigger on the next one. I'm gonna play Persona 3 tomorrow. Nice. I was always sad because I never finished Persona 3 back in the day. Like I played it, and I didn't really understand the mechanics. Like it frustrated me that um it was a different kind of game back in the day. Like you were trapped into the daily cycle and you could only do so much. And the game mechanics frustrated me. I think they were like too hard for young me. I was just like, I can't do this. And I left it unfinished. So it'll be really cool to go back. I'm very excited to play Persona 3. And Persona 5 was like one of my most it used to be The Last of Us was my favorite game, but Persona 5 like blew that crap out of the water. And so if it's more like Persona 5, I'm all for it. So I'm not gonna chastise you for drawing small. I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to turn you into my uh, drawing police, but you do help remind me to do it. So um, I do kind of appreciate it at the same time. So don't think I'm being annoyed by it or anything. Um, I've been looking into getting that display tablet, but of course, you know, I'm always the kind of person that wants to spend my money wisely, so I try to save up for like the nicest things that you can get rather than like go cheap so you can do it in the meantime. Especially when like if you look at the price of the Wacom tablets, um, the it's $1,000 difference between the smaller Cintiq Pro and the larger one, which is just I feel like a gap that I can cross, but it still is a super duper ton of money that I do not have. See? Huon is a banger. Hey Kareem, what is your goal for art? How do you stay motivated? Um, my goal is to get really good. Is that is that okay? Um, I do think before my goal was to just be really good. Mm, that's changed a little bit now. I still want to get really good, don't get me wrong. Um, but definitely involved other things like getting good, working at a studio. Um, and I don't need to do that anymore. Like I think I find enjoyment doing my own thing, especially since studios are just such trash lately. Uh, I think for me, my goal right now is to get good enough to represent the ideas that I have in my head, and to make sure that I'm enjoying the process. Because we're really, what is the point of doing this if you aren't having fun with it? That would be disappointing. It's actually, I feel like I drew better legs than I normally do. I can tell that, I don't know if I made the legs too long or something. It's weird. You're doing amazing so far. Thank you, Kareem. I asked because I have a goal in order to stick to something, but I get you. You know, after reading the Atomic Habits book, I realized that goals are, I mean, it's still nice to have them, but goals should be secondary to your systems. And the way that he describes it is like the systems that you put in place are going to help you get to your goals. But if you just focus on the goals and don't put any systems in place, you'll never make it to those goals. Depending on the kind of person you are. There are few people who learned the right things while they were a kid and they can motivate themselves. But judging by the fact you asked me, how do you stay motivated? I would say that you are one of those types of people like me that has trouble staying motivated. So you need the tools of like, how do I um, not stay motivated, but you have to change the question because motivation is not something that you can rely on. You need to make a habit so that um, when you have the hard days or you don't want to do stuff, the habit is already ingrained in you and you do it anyway. Uh, I can list more things for you if you want. Okay. Go ahead for if you want. I'm all ears. I just read this other book, um, and they said that I feel like I should open the floor to more advice. Like, people don't want unwarranted feedback necessarily, especially when they're trying to draw on stream and things like that. I know we've vetoed that. But I do think there are times where I should query everybody and be like, what's some advice you would give me uh, on what the stuff that I drew today? Because uh, apparently, if you ask for feedback, people give you really unhelpful, like personal advice or not advice, feedback that is like may not be related to you, I guess, um, and kind of can be unhelpful. But when you frame it as advice, people actually give you helpful feedback. I guess those are interchangeable words, but um, humans are funny. You say feedback instead of advice, and you get different reactions. Same way, did anybody see that thing on Twitter where it was like, um, it was it was a graph that showed if you said you wanted to, I forget what the key word was. It was like something about helping the poor. Uh, People were 70% like interested in doing that, but if you called it welfare, it dropped down to 30%. This is why you think it's not important, but like marketing and words matter. People are weird. For starters, your brush is very thin and hard to see due to the lower opacity. If you sketch with a bolder brush, I would have asked you to draw larger. Oh. Here's my advice, be swag. I also sketch thin and lightly, so this is just the visibility thing with streaming. Oh, okay, okay. Um, yeah, I get that. I like thin lines. It's weird. I'm like all about all the things that like make it hard to see drawing on stream. I do. It's like you draw small, you draw thin. What is the matter with you? You know something I learned about the leg today is that you should always draw the leg like this when you draw a leg, right? Um, I'd pop out the knee or something like that, and that would be it. Um, Draw the foot. Um, but apparently the leg bone is actually uh it sticks out, so it's more like this. Boop. Um, it is interesting. I know, and you can see it in the way that she drew, actually, kind of. Drew it poorly, but it's kind of like that. I drew it yesterday. Where is it? I didn't draw very well, but pelvis is hard, man. Bones. Um, Best TB Choi sketch. Yeah, all of these are gonna be TB Choi today. Yesterday I kind of did like a very realistic. If you've used the Anatomy for Sculptors book before, it's very realistic, uh, for good reason, obviously. But I'm trying to do more stylized work, and TB Choi is very good at. Basically, it's like seeing the real version and then seeing what it looks like when it's designed, right? And that's what we're trying to achieve here. Um, and so things are exaggerated, things are simplified. I'm not even sure how to like. I suppose I can still do that. Uh, Kareem. Oh, hi, Izu. How do I stay motivated? I was gonna answer that question too. Do you have trouble staying motivated, Kareem? Kind of. It might be a good question to ask first. You like legs, Izu? I do too. I'm actually having fun with them. It's not so bad. I'm definitely learning a couple things. Hopefully it'll help me. I literally have not. I think I studied legs once back like in the very start of art school. They try to make you memorize all the muscles, which is probably why I'm able to do this and draw out a simple leg and understand it. But definitely knowing more about it is helping me understand more. Can't go wrong with more knowledge. I like how TV Choi kind of separates out the muscle. That's really interesting as well. I'm mostly struggling with what to draw. I just end up giving up drawing for some time because I'm so frustrated I can't come up with anything to draw. Oh yeah, I feel that. Okay, let me help you with that. Um, because I feel like I have a better solution for that now. Um, I feel I gotta make a couple different videos about this. I feel like because this is a complicated topic. And I feel like I got it wrong a little bit um at first. You struggle with like I want to draw, but I can't come up with something I want to draw. Yes, exactly that. I definitely feel like I'm in that camp of like not knowing what to draw, and I'm sort of in the thick of it, figuring it out at the moment. Um, like I always see people draw tons of stuff that comes out of their head, and I'm like, it makes you so jealous. 'Cause you're like, how the hell do they do that? I feel like I can't come up with anything in my head. I can only study stuff and copy what other people do. Um, the first part of that, I think, is uh, it's definitely there's a fear in there about creating stuff that doesn't you don't have a piece of reference next to you. Um, because think about it logically, right? Like if you never practice without looking at other people's stuff, like how do you expect to get good at doing that? You have to practice things. Like it makes logical sense, right? Like to draw from imagination, to draw things that are from your own head, um, from your own ideas, you have to try it. Um, and when you sit down the first time, the hardest part is that you feel like you've got nothing coming in. You've got no ideas. Um, and there are two things that you can do to solve that. One is one is reducing the scope. So I can give you like a full let me say these two things and then I'll give you a way that you can actually do this properly for yourself. So one is to reduce the scope, which just basically means uh, if you but I had a teacher that had us do a project for something. I don't remember what it was, but I sat there like frozen because he said we could do whatever we wanted. And I was like, I have no ideas. I don't know what to say. And he told me that it wasn't that I didn't have any ideas. It was that I had too many. And I needed to reduce the scope of what to actually create to come up with more tangible ideas. So for instance, if you're sitting down and you want to think of what to draw, you're thinking of everything. So it feels like your mind is just blank. But if you reduce the scope to fantasy or sci-fi, that now gives you a category and it removes all this other stuff from your head. So now you may start to get like a few ideas, like fantasy, like plate armor, chainmail, right? If you're thinking fantasy or sci-fi, you might start thinking things like cyberpunk or Mass Effect. Yeah, just draw anything you want is like the fastest way to give someone art block. Yeah, exactly. For people who have drawn for themselves before, that's not true. Like they'll be fine because they know how to they sort of do that on auto themselves. But for people who are not used to that, who are big studiers like me or sounds like you, um, it's like a huge mental block. You're just like I have no idea, but I've never drawn anything for myself before in my life. Uh, so you need to take. It sounds like you kind of need to limit yourself in order to free yourself. Sounds weird, but it does work. Um, and then the second thing is, like I said, if you have done nothing, even if you have like thoughts of now this chainmail armor and stuff, uh, you've never done it before, right? So the challenging thing after that is that you have no visual library at first, right? So you've kind of decided maybe on a path now, or you have a little bit of an inkling of an idea, but you've never done it before. Um, so you need to actually find stuff and weirdly study it so that you can actually create things on your own. So what I'm trying to do to get past this is I I made a mistake at first, but I'll explain that in a sec. Uh, but basically, make a project for yourself and get as specific as you can. That's too little. Get as specific as you can about um, about the subject and the things that you want to put in there, and then you can practice those things, and then try to create stuff on your own. So I'll tell you the mistake I made and why it didn't work very well. But uh, I tried to, and you can see it on some of my live streams. I made this like bleach project to try to do this so that I could study anatomy and get better at anatomy. And it did work for a good amount of time. But the problem that I made is that I tried to force something that I had to learn into a project that I was really passionate about, but I was avoiding doing the stuff that I really wanted to do just so I could still study more. So I kind of like trapped myself in the same the same loop. Um, hey Jack, it's okay. I trapped myself in the same study loop of like um, I always do this thing where this is the thing that I'm passionate about, like that I want to do, right? And I'm like, I'm not good enough to do this yet. So I'm going to start with a pre-passion project, a pre-project first. Whoop. Oh my God, there's not enough space to write project. You know, and I will do that first now. Then I can work on my passion project. And I have literally always done this. Like, even my general learning, which is, I'm guessing you might do too, based on how you're talking, but you always think you have to get really good in order to work on the stuff that you like. Hi, Maxim. How are you? Our projects are amazing for this type of thing. It's easy to fall into the trap of endlessly practicing without ever making the art you want to make. Yeah, exactly. This is kind of that. You could easily put this into, you have a project that you want to, well, no, it's the same damn thing. What am I doing? You have a project you want to make. It's your passion project. You figured it out. And then you're like, I'm not good enough to do that yet, so I'm going to study. So you make a pre-project. This is your studying. And this is the trap you fall into. You're never good enough to do this. You get afraid. And then anytime that you even remotely try to do a passion drawing and you draw something for yourself, it comes out looking crazy. You're like, why can't I draw people? I just drew a perfectly good person a second ago. My proportions are all screwed up now, and this is what you um so there is a level of like you need to do this first. Yeah, I know. Well, because it's my pain too. I think that some people have just learned or were just passionate about enough about the thing that they wanted to do that they just jumped straight into the passion project. They made it number one, and now this becomes number two. Well, actually, it sort of becomes a part of it, I would say. They have um, the capabilities to sort of combine the two, and everything just feeds into this passion projects, which is what I'm hoping to do now. Uh, I am the project that I was doing for Bleach. I'm kind of just finishing up in the simplest because I want to say that I completed something. So I'm finishing it up in the simplest way possible, and I'm trying to get through just the anatomy that I really haven't studied, like the legs here. Um, and then this is freaking hard. We're just gonna do a basic. Sorry, I think I usually draw things that I'm more comfortable with, so I don't have to concentrate as hard. And these are complicated, so I'm like trying to talk and also do stuff that I'm not used to. Trying to make your first project your magnum opus is like such a bad idea. Um, Mindless doodles are like vitamins for your artistic story. You can revisit old doodles and turn them into a more elaborate piece. Uh, Hi, Terror. I actually think it's the opposite for people like this. I don't think doodles, I mean, it is nice to just like the pen go around, but I don't feel like I can doodle because I have never drawn it really anything for myself before that I didn't really enjoy. Um, and I don't have enough of a visual library to put something down um, like that. And I would argue that I mean if we're it sounds like we're the same, but I would argue Kareem might be the same way. Like whenever you try to doodle something, it just is not at all what you imagine. And I feel like you need to get past that point where you're doing one of these like passion projects where you've because the people who do this normally, they just draw whatever they want. They've kind of already made their passion projects multiple times without realizing it. And for people who don't normally do that, that they're stuck in studying, um, doodles are like the the enemy. They can't do doodles. Uh, it's not something that like works for you. And making that a normal thing, like where you can actually doodle, I think is what we're trying to accomplish. Yeah, I don't know if I would make your first project your magnum opus, like you said. But I definitely think it needs to be something that you care about and not something that you're trying to use to avoid what you actually care about. Uh, because because then you're just not into it as much, and it will drain you at a certain point. We all have, to some degree, have to learn the fundamentals, so you do have to find a way to make those fun. The most opposite description of what I consider doodling. Well, that's the thing. I feel like I'm trying to explain that like doodling doesn't come naturally. It's like I can't get myself to, like, I don't get me wrong. I've done drawings for myself before. I try to draw in my sketchbook, but how do I explain this? It's never really anything that I'm happy with. Like doodling should be like a fun thing that you do to just screw around on your paper or your digital paper, however you're doing it, right? Um, but it's not fun because I literally can't think of anything. And feet from behind are weird. I can doodle for days. Doodling is the opposite of planning and trying to do good. They're supposed to be unplanned, rough, silly, etc. If you're not as fidgety as me, because doodling is a way for me to fidget. We've got a case of the non-doodler. Yeah, no, exactly. For me, it's difficult to come up with any sort of ideas on the spot, which is kind of required in order to be a doodle. So I just end up staring at a blank page for 10 minutes and then playing Call of Duty. That that is sort of the essence of what I'm trying to describe, is that like you might be on like there's a spectrum of people, right? People who are just can draw whatever the hell they want, and then maybe four, you're somewhere in the middle where you are you may have trouble coming up with ideas, but you're able to doodle. And then there's people, I would assume Kareem sounds more like me, where doodling is like it feels impossible because nothing is coming in my head to draw. I always end up diverting if I need to draw something to like a portrait because I've studied like a gazillion heads, but I have no idea uh, what to put down. I'm just drawing. Um, there's no real idea or purpose, and then I just feel kind of defeated at the end of it. You try to make an idea for duel, then it's not a duel. Then it's you trying to make drawing. Dueling could be anything from. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you're just considering it that, then yeah, I feel the same way. It just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a doodler then, because it just doesn't feel like it has a purpose, and I don't really enjoy it because I want to draw. I want to doodle things that actually I like, and when I try to do it, it's just not. It's not anything that I really wanted to do. I guess there's different definitions of doodling, right? Like, because some people can doodle and draw like amazing works of art, even if they're just like sketching random stuff, right? Um, Maybe we take it too seriously, and there needs to be a degree of that. But I think when you haven't had any of your own ideas be sort of realized, doodling feels empty. Because I'm just regurgitating studies that I've done, if that makes sense. I don't know. That didn't work. Did it? The doodle is not doodling. Wait, Jack, your hands got busted? What the heck happened? Tokidoki, hi. I think my newest spurt in growth can be attributed to starting to sketch mindlessly with Sharpies for real. That sounds cool. Bought a couple art books recently. It gave me a lot of inspiration for doodles, artists in the Americas, and Haikala's Rakugaki. I'll have to look those up. I don't know them. I don't know. I think everybody has their own definition of doodling. I think that's okay. You can doodle for days, terror. Uh, I don't know if it helps, Jack, but I did tear the tendons in my drawing wrist at one point. I had to stop for quite a while. I had to wear like a brace and everything, and then I had to train those muscles again. It was a pain in the ass. But you do come back from it. I don't need these lines. Interesting legs there. Where was the one? Oh, it is that way. So, okay, well, that's like that. But that means this one's screwed up. So, where the screw up here? Oh, I think she's screwed up. And that's better. Uh, Sometimes I upload a finished painting and call it a doodle just to mess with people. I mean, when you get fast enough, that does happen. Like it's quick. You can basically, once you're good enough, you could do a finished portrait painting in under an hour. Like a somewhat detailed, polished version of a portrait. You get good at making marks and stuff, you get really fast. Let's go for that one last. I don't think I need that one. I'll try drawing some of these. Let's actually do, oh yeah, something straight on first. It's really great to see you all again, by the way. I know it's been a hot minute. We've been in the middle of moving and um, it's been a lot. Um, the industry has been an absolute disaster. Um, you have a weirdly chill attitude with my art. Yeah, you do. Cat happened, the one that got jaundice. It ran outside. I went to catch it. Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta be real careful of cats. They're just some are chill and some are killers. Lower on the inside. Okay, so we're gonna be couldn't catch the cat. I'm so sorry. My art teacher friend would always berate me that I'm taking too much work for myself, making my sketches so detailed and line art perfect. So the Sharpie thing was probably when I need to loosen up. Oh, shit. I never even finished talking about the thing. Kareem, you still here? I want to help you actually do a project. Yes, Chief. All right. So here's what you can do. This is what I'm literally going to do this right now because the mistake I made with the bleach project was trying to, like I said, inadvertently ended up making a pre-project because even when I made the Bleach project, it was to help me study anatomy. So I figured I needed something, and I was on the whole like project path because I had figured out that, one of the problems was limiting the scope, and then I'd figured that stuff out already. So I thought I had nailed it with the Bleach project, but I actually ended up still making a pre-project because the Bleach project that I had made was before the start of the series. Like it was supposed to represent them before they were even the manga had started. Because in the back of my mind, I'm dumb and was like, I want to wait till I'm good till I start to draw the scenes that are actually in the manga or in the anime. So I somehow still did a pre-project. And then it wasn't fun for me because it was just like I basically chose a topic that I wasn't passionate about. I didn't do the passion project. I did the before project. Um, so one of the things definitely he needed to inject into this was fun. Um, but I needed to do the things that I was actually excited about. So now the next 2 weeks I'm just trying to get anatomy done. And then I'm doing a project where I actually get into the fun stuff, which is like doing character design and costuming and learning about clothes and all that stuff and design so I can create characters and not just have naked people all day, which is what I've drawn for the past like 10 years. Um, so I think you should treat this, find something that you want to do and treat it as a legit project. Apparently, this is like a really good thing they do even with kids. It helps you develop a lot of um, important skills, not just the skills for drawing and painting and everything, which will help you improve, but also skills like, being determined and actually enjoying the project that you're doing, um, learning discipline, uh, things like that. The soft skills, so they call them. Um, so I would first reduce the scope, like try to decide on something, look at all the things that really excite you. Um, could be a game or a movie or a book. Uh, the only reason I'm going to recommend that you do fan art first is because the designs are sort of created for you, and you can worry less about design and coming up with a bunch of stuff yourself. It depends where you are level wise as an artist. Um, Judging by the fact that you are similar to me, I'm just going to assume that it'd be better for you to do fan art first. um, Personally for me, whether you guys love it or not, I really love Sword Art Online. And I love the artist Abeck. If you guys have ever seen, uh, I think it's a guy, his work. Let me pop in something that looks real cool. Abeck. Um, yeah, like this. This is from season 2, I think. The When he was with the guns, but there's the fantasy side, like this stuff. Uh, or all of, let's see, all of that. Right. Not only is he a good designer, but it's very simplified, so it looks like it will be easier to learn, which is nice. So I'm trying to choose my projects strategically. I never watched this video, but I heard from some people it sucks. Yeah, ABAC is really good. And this is even some of his earlier stuff. The newer stuff that he has done um, is pretty wild. Let me get a. This was he made for the new game. Drop that in here. can't see it all there. Uh, but his stuff got really good. But he's very good at design language and making things interesting, and it's very simplified. Like if you look at something like this, and then uh, like a more realistic game like Diablo or Dragon's Dogma, like there's a simplified part of it because it's for anime, and then there's like really detailed like grungy little bits and bobs that you can add to costuming when you get more realistic. So it's nice to sort of increase the difficulty in a slow way. Ever read Berserk? I've read a good chunk of Berserk. It never really fully hooked me, but it was interesting, and I'll probably go back to it. Um, I've, I've probably read like, I don't know, I want to say 50 chapters or something. I remember reading a good chunk of it because my friend told me about it a lot. But yeah, this looks really cool. And I'll be able to study that. And I really like it as a series. I think the yeah, where's uh Jack? Yeah, a lot of people hate the second season. Um, the first season was amazing, second season was bad, and then the third season was good again. Uh, so it just depends who you talk to. And then the light novels are good too. Uh, but anyways, that is what I'm choosing as a project, and I'm gonna be learning those things while also designing those characters. And I'm gonna treat it as a project. So you could come at this any way that you would want. Like you could tell yourself, I want you to create I'll use my SAO is what they call it. So I'll use Sword Art Online as my example, but I could say I want you to make a Sword Art Online game. Use the two main characters and come up with three of your own. Uh, and then um, show me in a couple of dungeons that they visit or something, or however you would want to do it. For me, I'm trying to approach it as if I'm creating my own art book. Uh, so I'll say how many kind of illustrations I want. I want to see each of the characters illustrated, maybe like a couple of like story moments of them together, because from the light novel that they're actually from. Um, and then maybe I'll have one character that's new that I'll have interact with them. I haven't actually come up with the project idea yet. I'm just sort of making it up on the spot. But really outline very specifically. This is what I did with the Bleach project that was actually right. I just wasn't having fun with it. But I actually outlined I was going to do like 5 figures for each character. I had story moments written out for each one that I was going to illustrate. And I got very specific. So I knew all the things that I had to study basically to accomplish this and what they were going to help me learn. And then, you just sort of go at it after that, but ideally you're going to be much more excited about it because it's a project that you actually care about and it's not something that you're trying to do before the project you care about. The best artists will draw goated art for the worst light novels. That is true sometimes. Not the best artists don't always get the best stories to work for. I don't like SAO either, but just because the story is tropes doesn't mean it's bad by default. It's all about how they use said tropes. Second season is the elf arc or the gun season. I think it combined the elf and guns. Didn't it? I don't remember. Or was it the second arc? It's when they go to like after they leave the first where they're trapped and he has to save Asuna. That's the one that everybody hates because the trope is just really overused. Um, I personally don't mind it, but you know, yeah, the second arc, exactly. It's like the second, or no, the third light novel is basically him saving Asuna, and she's trapped by some weird dude. After that is the was it Gun Gale line? I think people were okay with the Gun Gale line one, and then was it Alfheim, the one where it's like they changed like the whole animation style and everything. That one was really good. Okay, we're gonna do this. Whew, man, I feel like I always have so much to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna need to do like chat streams so that we can just talk because I'm not gonna be able to get so much drawing done when we do this. This is why I like the gaming streams too, it's because it's easier to chat um with you guys. Because now we're all getting caught up in Gungale was better than season one, and Aliciaization was better than both. Oh wow, you like Gungale better than season one? Uh, I don't know. I'd have to revisit them to see about that. And I haven't seen the two progressive movies either. Um, I forget what they're called. They're from the Sword Art Online progressive novels. It was like Aria of the Starless Night or something. Looks really cool. I saw the first movie, and that one was decent. Have you made a community Discord? No, not yet, Tokidoki. I'm sorry. I was actually thinking about that the other day though, Toki, is originally when I had started the Discord, uh I only had like a couple rooms, and then I had a someone who was really active. I had them become a mod. There were like two people, I think, just to help me with everything. And they suggested, I took their suggestions, and they were talking about adding more rooms and things like that. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. But I didn't necessarily want to do that because it was gonna split all the attention into tons of different rooms. And like I said, I didn't have time to really make a Discord. Uh, and I honestly feel like that was part of the downfall of me wanting to end it, because it just like it wasn't active, and I had to be there to almost make it active. Um, and then it made me feel bad that I wasn't like doing stuff for it. So if I made the Discord again, I'm still contemplating this if it's gonna be like a oh shit, I screwed that up. If it's gonna be Discord again or a Reddit thread. Um, I might limit it to like a couple rooms, like a sharing art room and a chat room, and that's it. I really don't like Discord server that has a channel for 5,000 things that have all been trimmed down to like 10 channels. Yeah, exactly. I felt it splits it's the same. That's how uh multiplayer games work too, right? Like Fortnite originally didn't have so many rooms, and they were worried even that they did the like no build mode because it splits the audience where you could get a room like really I mean, thankfully they have a huge audience, right? So I don't have to worry about that as much, but you know, have some people in this room and in this room and in this room. And so if you had like 50 people on your server and now you have uh 20 rooms, you have like two people here, here. I know people can go around still, um, but you still split people up and it loses focus, and then people feel like it's not like there's nothing going on the server, and then they leave or whatever. So that's why the Reddit thing sounded so uh like a viable option to me, because it would keep everybody focused into one area. So that's around that. Okay. So yeah, just to say a final thing on the on your project, Kareem, just find something you actually enjoy and turn it into a fan art project. And whether you want it to be like a gaming project and you want to make your own game, or a book project and you want to make it your own book, like see it out as if you were the architect of that game or that book. Like make a polished looking book at the end. Like put it actually in a PDF, put page numbers on it, and if you can, print it out, like get it printed. If you want to make a game project, do your illustration of a couple of moments and put in the like UI of the game, right? Doesn't have to be for everything. There are cutscenes in games, but what I mean is like bring it to life. Really see it through, like something that you're actually passionate about, and it will teach. Not only will it teach you so much, it will actually put things in your visual library, so that when, like Four was talking about, when you have a chance to actually doodle, uh, you now can doodle because you have things in your brain and you're no longer just mystified and like feel like you have no ideas and that doodling is not worthwhile. You now have, for me, it'll be fantasy stuff. So I'll be able to draw characters who are in armor, leather armor, plate armor. I will have studied like poses of people using swords to fight or big axes or something, and all that will now be in my visual vocabulary. Will do. Appreciate the help so much, brother. Yeah, no problem. I hope it works out because I'm really trying to do it for myself, and I kind of failed at the first one because I had made a little bit of a mistake, but I feel like I'm approaching it the right way this time. Um, but that's all you can do is you make mistakes. And I was reading this book that was really good lately, but um, he was talking about the you learn the most by aiming for discomfort. And that is why I'm drawing legs right now, honestly. uh, because I took it to heart and I was like, I need to make things that I'm not comfortable with so that I can learn the most. I don't want to be bad anymore, and I don't want to not know what to draw anymore. So we're gonna take this thing full throttle, you know. Whether you like Sword Art Online or not, the art for it is cool. And so we can make some cool stuff. There's supposed to be an overlap here. That's okay. I can't use my wrist much, so I have to use my whole arm to draw now. Oh, that'll be good practice. You should get a big drawing board, like the 18 by 24 drawing boards. Might actually help. I might have cut in too much on that thigh. Try to put this closer together. Ah, okay. I see where I went wrong. You don't need to separate fan art and original art into two channels. Just put them on one art channel. Exactly, for. So yeah, Toki, we I'm still deliberating, but I promise that something will come in the next couple months. Or I should say the next month. I am trying to figure that out. I want, I feel like we're making a nice little community here, and I would like people to be able to share their work and stuff. Did anybody watch the State of Play yesterday? The Sony State of Play? Oh crap, I was supposed to be all up in here. Did I make this too big? Oh no, I did. Okay. Gotta be careful when you work at a different perspective. Everything has to be at the right perspective. It looked right, but it wasn't. Bloodborne fans like me are having a rough time. Yeah, I saw Bloodborne trending on Twitter. That was really funny. Y'all are real sad. I loved Bloodborne, don't get me wrong. It would be cool if they give us a remaster or Bloodborne 2, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm all right. I'll be okay. Just fucking this up more now. Jesus. Perspective is hard. They I've seen the Discord server separate AI art and real art. Oh god. No, we're never gonna do that. Nobody will be sharing AI art in my uh, server or anywhere. We will not be tolerating that shit. Sorry. Well, not really. Sorry about that. I honestly feel sorry a little bit for the people who feel like they need to use it or justify themselves into using it. Everybody's pretty psyched right now that PewDiePie has decided to do art because he's putting them to shame at the moment. That was insanely hard. Okay, well, that's the best I can do. I think move on from there. That was not good. Did they announce a Pokemon Black and White remake yet? I don't think so. It was a Sony press conference, so not Nintendo. I agree, not many channels are needed. Maybe another one for YouTube stream updates too, but yeah, it'll be cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd have to distill it down to like just a few. I don't know, I'd probably try for less than five. Something like you said, like a news section, um, and then a place where people can chat, and then a place where people can share their art. That might be it. Uh, Maybe a place where people can get their art critiqued, or maybe they could do that in the same channel. Everything okay? Hi. No. I wanted to draw Santa each Christmas. That stopped after 2 years. It was still in my Discord server, which I haven't gone back to in like 5 years. You know what I wanted to do every Christmas is draw a Calvin and Hobbes scene. I don't know if anybody's read Calvin and Hobbes in here. Um, but he would always have like the snowman attack him. I always, for every Christmas, I wanted to do like a snowman scene for Calvin and Hobbes where the snowmen are alive. I just thought it was such a fun idea. And it's really fun to draw like gaping mouth snowmen that are like, is that the Tiger and Kid? Those were always funny to read. Yeah, that's what it is, the Tiger and Kid. Yeah, they were always funny to read. I think that's gonna have to come down a bit more. Hey Martin, gotta go have a wonderful rest of the stream. Thank you. Have a good one. Critique should have its own channel, but should be able to include images. Yeah, no, of course, because you have to show the drawing that you'd want critiqued. All right. Guess Jesus, these frickin' perspective ones are hard, but we'll keep trying. Keep trying. Off balance. Roke art. Trick of anatomy is in the form. Took me a long time to understand what I'm saying, like a fool since I'm at a good level. Yeah, that's called the curse of knowledge. When you get to a certain point, well, not to a certain point, but the more that you learn, the less that you're familiar what it was like to be a beginner. So it's harder to articulate, for some people impossible to articulate certain advice because they just don't remember what it was like to be a beginner. Okay, let's see where. Screwed up a little there. It's a little frustrating as a teacher, but yeah, for beginners, you actually do learn a lot from fellow beginners because they remember what it's like because it was either recently for them or they're still there. Did you watch PewDiePie video on his 100-day art challenge? I did not yet, Mr. Feast. I watched his first one, the 30-day challenge, was it? Which is pretty awesome. And I've seen people talk about the 100-day one, so I do want to check it out. I think it's amazing. I think it's making the AI art people look stupid. I love. Because, he's a celebrity, even if he's a YouTube celebrity, he's a celebrity who could get basically anything he wanted and do things the simple, easy way, like pay for a stupid AI subscription, and just make something. But he's actually taking the time to learn it and he's enjoying it, showing people that it's fun to learn. It's just a really good influence to people overall. I think it's amazing. Like, say what you want about him, but it's pretty great for our community right now, I would say. Did you watch it, Mr. Feast? Oh, it's very motivating. Okay. Yeah, you did watch it. Yeah, that's really cool. I wonder if he's gonna like seriously, if he wants to seriously do anything with it, like learn how to do character design um or anything like that. Hey, we have like some AI people arguing how Pew's a Nazi or something. Yeah, I just wouldn't even listen to that. I remember I remember that happened back in the day or something. People were accusing him of that. I mean, I just never got that impression, but when you're put into the spotlight like that, people kind of get crazy. I mean, there could be valid concerns. I don't actually know, but you have to be careful of that stuff. Did his work improve a lot, Mr. Feast? It looked like it looked like it actually did in the thumbnail at the very least. I'm just shocked that he continued to go at it. Like he did it for 30 days and then he was just like, I liked this. I'm gonna continue doing it. Like most people get to that point and get, artists, they get a little frustrated. Uh, I wonder if that point will hit for him. Seems like he's just doing it for fun right now. How do you draw ass, buttocks, gluteus maximus? I would learn the muscles of the butt, because that definitely helps. Like there's a there's kind of this like round thing here. It's the bone, but all your muscles like feed into it. Um, and that's why she's drawing in these sketches this like little outline here. Um, like I would first understand the like pelvic underwear shape, like learn the pelvis, which I just drew the other day. It's kind of like a big disc thing. I'm trying to remember what it actually looks like. I don't remember what the bottom looks like. I think it's a like that. And then there's like two, God, I forget. I'll just show my drawing. Bloop, bloop. Nope, wrong one. This one. Ah, yes. Learn to draw the pelvis. Um, because that's going to help you figure out where the bony points are and how to place the buttocks. Um, After legs, I'm kind of shifting upwards to the butt because I haven't done that yet. So I will draw a bunch of butts. That'll be a funny video title. Draw the butt with me. But yeah, I'll still be sort of in the legs, but now focusing more on the butt. So I'm gonna draw that in a couple days. I have a private class from TV Choi in anatomy. If you're interested, I can give it to you. Um, hmm, I feel bad about taking. I mean, is it like, did you pay for it? I wouldn't want to. Where did you get it? I wouldn't want to like. There are certain things I don't mind pirating, um, but other artist stuff feels a little hard for me. So I don't think that those things should be uh, shared necessarily. Um, I don't know. It's hard to reconcile that, I guess, because I wouldn't want people to do it to me either. Poker videos are good. I mean, the free stuff's already a lot. I don't know about the premium. I mean, eventually one day I'd like to make a whole set of things. Um, like if I wasn't broke, I'd make everything free. I mean, it already is free right now. I mean, like my YouTube videos and stuff. But like if I made a course, I wouldn't charge for it if I could. Um, and maybe there's a way to do that. Like I know Duolingo sucks now, but I watched a TED Talk and I think it was like the CEO of Duolingo, and he basically said that there was a subscription. Everybody would have to watch ads, and there was a subscription version. But basically, the people who could pay for it did, and made it possible for other people to view it. Um, I don't think he was that. Judging by the fact that they're using AI now, I don't think that they were that generous. I think they were just trying to make money and make it look like a generous business model or something. Um, but I personally would like to do that to make it so that, you know, all this stuff was free because that's what artists kind of deserve. Um, I appreciate it, Roke art. I love TV Choice stuff. She's amazing. I have her book. I've saved a lot of her artwork. She's an incredible artist. You could definitely learn a lot from her. I think that came out pretty good. All right, that wasn't too bad. Legs in perspective. I did see a pelvis video there. I haven't had the time to check it out. You should charge for it since your own hard work. If you want to give us some free stuff, no one would complain, but it's work, so no one could complain if you charge for it. Yeah. No, I just mean in general, like, there are things that I'll probably charge for, and I hope that people will support me. But when I come out with I have an idea for like a overarching course that doesn't just start with art, but also the mental side to it. Um, because I feel like that's not really focused on, even though it's the struggle of many of us. Um, and I'd like it to get to the point where I'm already like people have supported me and stuff, and I'm so self-sufficient that I don't have to charge for that. That it could just be free for everybody. You know, in an ideal world, I I think that would be the best. Uh, so I hope when I get there, I can do that. Okay, now we're gonna try some legs from below. Oh boy. But yeah, we'll definitely draw some butts. Jack. Toki, hope he continues sharing his journey. Whatever it is, it'd be cool if he got into digital art. Yeah, that would be cool. I hope he does do that. He really did improve a lot. I saw people saying he improved farther than they're at currently. Feeling defeated, it's clear he's very deliberate about how he learned using references. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Did he actually specifically say, even in his first video, I wasn't sure sometimes if he was drawing with reference the whole time or if he was drawing from imagination. Like, there's a big difference, right? Um, Anyone who's taking this seriously knows how big of a difference there is when you have something in front of you versus when you don't. So, if he, not that it's, uh, not to knock on his accomplishment or anything, but if he started to actually wanting to do something with it, then drawing from your imagination becomes a necessity if you want to become a character designer or something like that. So he'll run into that particular actually he'll run into that particular roadblock eventually. So it might be more vocal about it. People might be imagining that he's just doing things from doing things from his imagination when he really has references available to him all the time. Um, and getting discouraged, thinking that he's way beyond them. And I saw he's been practicing portraits a lot, so he may, just be good at portraits right now. Hi, baby boy. He just lifted the blanket up. I don't know if you guys have dogs, but if my dog, when he wants to lay down, he'll make a nest. So he'll like scratch the blanket to try to like lift it up. Just now we have a blanket that protects the couch, so he can lay down on it, and he just pulled it up. He's a funny boy. It's really cute. My cat Jorge does that too. Yeah. He's all tucked in now. He's a big cutie pie. It's a little chilly here today, because it's raining and we're kind of in the mountains. So, okay, it's a little this way. So this leg's gonna be a bit longer. Apparently this foot has to be bigger. I want to start streaming my art progress as well. How do you go about it? And hello. Um, I mean, you really just start. You can. Are you nervous to draw in front of people? I think the hardest thing is just learning how to talk and draw. Um, and I know there's some people that don't. Like they're quiet and their stream just talks. And that's okay too. So don't think that you have to do that. Plus, it's kind of hard to improve while you're chatting the whole time. Um, can't really be super focused, but that's why. I'm waiting for my cat to come back though. It's vaccinated. It did bite me, so I don't know if I got some deadly bacteria from my blood. Yeah. Uh, I would actually go get tested for. This might sound insane, but I would go get tested for rabies. Just because I think it's preventable, right, when it's caught, but if you start showing symptoms, like I'm pretty sure you're screwed. Yeah, true. Toki said in the second one he drew from reference almost all the time, except for a few times he wanted to test himself. I think in the first he said he watched tutorial two. Oh, okay. So he did draw from reference a lot. Yeah, so he's not at that stage where he's ready to do that yet, and that's okay. We don't know what he's gonna do with this. Like I said, he's doing it for fun right now. So if he decides that like he wants to take things, that next step is that like wanting to take things beyond just hobby and actually become really good. Um, that will require something more, you know. So we'll see. if he does that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see him do that. It'd be cool to like to improve with it. I'd be really discouraged if he improved faster than me too, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But gonna need. Comes a time in every artist's journey where they decide they want to do this for more than fun. Well, I guess it's always fun. It's just sometimes it's painful for us. That's probably the shot you got though. I got rabies. Oh, okay, good, good, good. Yeah, from what I remember reading about that, that like if something scratches you, to like because once you get rabies, like the symptoms start to show, you're fucked. But getting ahead of it, like you'll be fine. That'd be a terrible way to go. Rabies. The med right next to your wounds and it hurts. Ooh. Yeah, the few who survive rabies through extreme amounts of luck. Yeah, apparently it's really bad. So, as much as the injections suck, uh, definitely be thankful for them. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Glutinous Maximus. Delicious chicken drumstick you drew there. Thank you guys. Hey Crane, I just watched PewDiePie video on Ari and saw how he improved so much in 100 days. Whereas I was drawing on and off for 5 years, felt so bad, and after watching a video, it made me feel better. So thank you. Wow, I hope my video gets recommended after PewDiePie's. That's funny. Uh, don't feel bad about it, Crane. I definitely have been stuck in a unimprovement loop for the longest time. Um, I think there's a lot of things that are really amazing about what PewDiePie is doing. Um, did I draw all these? I think I did. One, there, 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 there. Oh, I did draw all these. Okay. I thought I would get through a lot more legs, but this is harder than I thought. Um, do that one. Uh, People improve at different speeds, and people tend to improve faster in the beginning, and then they stagnate. Have to put in more effort. Yeah, that is the big thing. When people see really fast improvement at the start, um, everybody improves fast at the start. Like, as long as you are, especially from studies. Like, if you've ever tried to draw from your imagination at the start, you're still gonna suck at that. But from studies, you're gonna learn a lot really fast. It doesn't take very long, especially if you're doing all the right things. Um, it's when you start to slow down that progress, which he's probably, I'm guessing, about to hit very soon, because he's getting to that point where it looks starts to look good, and getting over that hump to from looking pretty good at studies to being good at imagination and having it be consistent is such a huge, that is the barrier of like the beginner professional level that everybody struggles to cross. Um, because it takes a monumental effort to go from like getting a good study every now and again to be having consistent, really nice looking work, even without anything in front of you. It's a really big hurdle. It takes a lot more effort because, and you assume that it's less because it took so much less work to get from, you know, nothing to that small improvement that you saw that looks like, you know, it looks like a large amount of improvement. So, sorry, we ran out of music. Hang on. So do not be discouraged, Crane. It is uh, very typical to see that um, trajectory. I think it'll be more interesting to see if he sticks with it after he starts to run into those roadblocks that we've all faced. Like I don't know what kind of person he is, and this largely it does depend a lot on like how you were raised as a kid. Um, do you have that? Uh, were you nurtured in the right way so that you can deal with the discipline, the mental fortitude that all comes with like learning to draw, uh, or or do you get discouraged easily and give up? And that'll be the real interesting video. I drew for 365 days, you know, see if he stuck with it, uh, or if he had to stop. I'll be very curious. I hope he sticks with it because honestly, it it brings exposure to the entire process and helps more people get excited about it. Um, and seeing people who can accomplish that is why I'm trying to do it too. Seeing people who can accomplish that makes you realize that you can do it too. So I definitely hope that he continues. Where did I mess up here? I didn't make it long enough. Mm, I've seen people recommend not drawing squares or ellipses or cylinders for figures because they don't resemble the actual figure. I think that's dumb. So the reason why people do that, it's not dumb. Um, the reason why we do that at first is because as beginners, it's really hard to draw all this detail, right? From the start. So typically you start with like the gesture. Uh, right? You start like that. You'd have the spine and a little, probably a little circle for a head, and doing that with the arms. Maybe I don't know what you're doing. And then they move into to cylinders. Or, well, sometimes just flat shapes. Then they'll round those out and do cylinders, right? Um, I'm I can promise you Kim Jong-gi probably used basic shapes to construct the figure when he was a student. You do that as you progress. Yes, there is a slight angle, so I'll do that. Yeah, everybody starts with the basic shapes. It doesn't seem like it makes any sense because it doesn't have any real relation to the figure, but it can actually be broken down quite easily and then built on top of quite easily. The knowledge is there. It's building blocks. You're starting with the. We've talked about it once in here before. You start with like the head that's like nothing. I did this when I was with Vilpoo. Vilpoo, I think his name was. Um, right? Um, and you just start like that, and it's really helpful to do that. And then, as you get better, let's push this down here. You start to maybe move into shapes. Then you're building off of what is already there. And then you can add on to that with cylinders. There we go. But it's all knowledge that's built on one another. Hey girl, are you a box? Because I could draw you from any angle. We're doing pickup lines now? What happened? Uh, Kim Jong-il's approach was very box based. Yeah, and that's true too. Have you ever seen him teach? I remember seeing him draw like a head and how to draw from any angle, and he put it inside of a box. Like that was the first thing that he did. That's how especially if you want to do something like Kim Jong-il, that has how you spatially see that stuff. He doesn't he doesn't look at it. That's how you simplify things. Like he doesn't look at it like, oh, I want to draw this realistic figure this way. He's like, how do I tilt this in the right perspective? So he thinks in this way to simplify stuff, and then when he drops the drawing down, he's doing it this way, so you can actually see what's happening. And he can skip this stuff because it's already in his head. He's probably already practiced it like a gazillion times. He doesn't need to draw the box, it's in his head. He probably, that's how he visualizes it. Hey, Lucky, how are you? Sorry, did I misunderstand you, Jack? Are you saying, um, oh, you said seen people recommend not drawing squares or ellipses. I did misunderstand you. I'm sorry. That is dumb. Yeah, you need to build off of that. Oh, oh yeah. Kim Jong Gi. Oh shoot, what's wrong? Oh, there we go. For a minute, my thing like froze. I don't know what happened. Yeah, he passed away. It was pretty sad. Um, Never got to meet the man, but he inspired a lot of people, and he was, from what I saw, a very kind and gentle human being. Definitely went too soon. Um, I'm not sure what happened to him, uh, personally, but that is why I always say to take care of yourself. I mean, shit can happen to you anytime, but like you want to stack the odds in your favor as much as you can. Oof. Rip Kim, yeah, seriously. Hi, Simon. I don't have a problem with legs. I really have a problem drawing clothes on legs. It makes them look so bad. Um, oh, come on. Why are you doing this? There's literally, I don't know why it does this. Okay, back to normal. We drew quite a few legs. Actually came out not bad. Uh, he had some sort of heart problem. Wiki said heart attack, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was, it was just a defect in his heart or if, his diet could have improved it or something. We don't know. I don't know him personally. Um, like I said, you just want to stack the odds in your favor. Uh, I would like to think that he did everything and he just got, unlucky. I actually have a a heart thing too. Well, I don't, it can't be the same as his. I have I forget what it's called, but basically one of my valves has like a little bit extra the the way that it like closes, and I guess there's like a it's not like a growth, but it's just like the valve is a little bit bigger, and occasionally the as the blood is pumping, it like falls back into my valve, and it can cause my heart to have a heart palpitation. It's like when your heart some there's different meanings for it, but it my heart skips a beat. It's really annoying and terrifying. Uh, so I try to make sure I eat well and I'm in shape, and that doesn't get any worse. Um, Apparently they have to put like if it gets worse, they have to put some sort of clip on the valve. But apparently it's minimally invasive and not so bad. But still, don't want that to happen. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse. Some people have heart problems that go undetected their whole life. Yeah, exactly. You can live a whole happy life without realizing you got anything going on down there that's wrong. Kim was a healthy guy who worked out, had healthy food. Yeah, exactly. So it looks, sounds like he seemed like the kind of person who would do that. Like he seemed like a very uh one with the universe kind of person. He seemed like he would eat well, exercise, all that stuff. So he really just got it was just an unfortunate thing that happened. Sounds like because he was young. He was still young. So it was really sad. Uh, I definitely, you know, he gave a lot to the art community, but he definitely, I feel like he had a lot more to give. So it was not a happy day. I hope we can, continue to honor his legacy kind of thing with learning things about the way that he learned and, improving. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to help people learn. Hey, Tendo. We had a CPR course recently with John. We were told that anyone, even healthy young people, can have heart problems without knowing it. Yeah, the only reason for the longest time, I had had this heart skip issue and I had no idea what was going on. And I talked to a bunch of doctors and they were like, allergies, this, that. And I was like, I don't know. Because I have some allergy issue too, and it seemed to be tied to it. Um, until someone finally gave me uh, an echocardiogram. It's like they can see your heart beating and all that kind of stuff. I think there was like a gel and they like scan you kind of like that. And that's when they told me I had like uh the little like valve issue. But they said it was I forget the word that they use. There's a key word for like grades of how bad it is, and it was like the least bad. Hmm. And they basically told me that it's something that could stay the same or it could get worse over time. It's just really, you don't know. So eventually I'll get checked again. Um, people can live perfectly normal lives uh, and have no problems, or you might need help. You just don't know. The problem with AI is that it lacks intention and the intelligence to actually understand the work it's putting out. So it has to copy. Yeah, we all know it's bad. We don't really need to discuss it, but I mean, you're right, Jack. It's just a copy. It's just theft. It's really, um, that's really all it comes down to at this point. But yeah, we're all done for today. So, I just wanted to hang out and chat with you guys for a little bit, but I'm gonna pop off. Thank you guys for joining today, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time. I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet. We might just draw some figures. Yeah, exactly, Simon. Uh, might just draw some figures to try to utilize this new leg information that we're learning. Um, you subscribe, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, and then next week probably have 3 streams. We'll get back to doing some art and some gaming as well. I have a lot of games to play. We're gonna do a handful of them together. and then we're gonna start using them in our drawings. We're gonna do anatomy for the next like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we're jumping right into clothes and designs, and we're gonna start that Sword Art Online project and study fantasy. We're going on a whole fantasy theme because it seems like we have a fantasy themed gaming year, like Dragon's Dogma, Final Fantasy. Um, I haven't played through Baldur's Gate. I want to do that. Um, so, oh yeah, Jack, because they copied his work and put it into the system. Yeah, that was shitty. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited. Good vibes leaving off here. Yeah, hell yeah, Tokidoki. Yeah, anime, fantasy. Yeah, exactly. Anime, we got Delicious in Dungeon. We got Solo Leveling. So it's definitely a fantasy year, I think. So I want to, and that's the topic. If I were to choose like sci-fi fantasy, I think fantasy bumps up at the top. But I love sci-fi too, so eventually we'll get to that as well. But we need to start somewhere. So we're gonna go into armor, all swords, all that cool fantasy stuff, and really get deep into it, using Sword Art Online as sort of like a beacon of everything. Hopefully create, some fan art and then designs of my own. It'll be good. That'll be us for the next couple of months, and we'll be playing games in that sort of realm as well. Baldur's Gate and probably some other random ones, maybe Final Fantasy. Oh my god, between Delicious and Dungeon and Frieren Chef's Kiss. I haven't watched the Frieren one yet, but I've been hearing like the most amazing things, so I really gotta jump on that. Maybe I'll start the first episode today. Because I'm still waiting for the next episode of Delicious and Dungeon and Solo Leveling. Yeah. Everybody, we're gonna show that this growth is possible. Maybe PewDiePie will come on here and be like, hey, this guy showed all his improvement if he wants to continue doing it. So we're gonna prove that we can make this journey possible. I'm not gonna get stuck just studying forever. Um, so we'll do it together, and it will be very cool. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll catch you tomorrow, same time, if you want, and then we'll be back next week after that, if I don't catch you tomorrow. So have a good day, guys. Bye bye.